Hey guys, Sublord here, back with another action figure review of the Hasbro Pulsecon. Is it 2022, 2023? Either way, it was an exclusive Marvel Legends Mojoworld box set featuring the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mojo, Dazzler, and Longshot. This, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. I did say it was a Hasbro Pulsecon exclusive after all, but you're not paying attention again, you silly goose. And also the fine folks over at Amazon. Good old Slamazon offering this set at almost 50% off. I think it was like $130 when it came out. It was roughly, I want to say $60 to $75 on Amazon. And if you manage to get the Spiral figure from the last RetroCard X-Men wave before X-Men 97, I believe, then you got a pretty decent Mojoworld setup for only $100, which is less than what this set cost initially. So you figured that out. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look see at all these guys have to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the elephant in the room. This motherfucking grab-zags ass looking Wolverine here. And for whatever reason, Hasbro thought, yeah, that's a figure, even though it doesn't move. And again, looks like some whack-ass grab-zags bullshit. Anyone remember grab-zags? Good. You don't need to remember grab-zags. They're dead line. But either way, reminds me a lot of something like that. He's got a pig hole in his back for some reason. I don't know why. His head don't even move, even though there's plenty of space. His arms don't move. His legs don't move. He just sits on this stand and looks on. So, there you go. You get this little teeny Wolverine figure. I'm assuming that's from the comics or the cartoon or something. And then for Mojo, we get a pair of extra hands. We get a pointing finger hand and this kind of grip hand. Both of which have the same hinges. They go up and down. Also, same hinges on his hands that are already attached to him. He also has this head with his flicking tongue there. It's pretty gross. I like the head he's got on him. He's kind of smirking. He's grinning. He looks evil. And then we also have, for Longshot, a pair of alternate hands. We have a fist and a open hand, as well as a little, if I can get a hold of this bastard, a little kniff, which if we take Longshot here, we can raise his arm up and sheath it in the sheath here. I almost said scabbard. Some food for thought for you not in the know. A scabbard is for swords. A sheath is for daggers. There is actually a difference. Do you care about that sort of information now? Probably not, but now you know it. So if you're ever on one of those stupid win $1 million for answering a bunch of stupid questions shows, well, you could thank me later with a bit of a tip. And I don't mean the tip of your private part either. That's gross. So, as far as Dazzler goes, she does have a pair of open hands right here. Same open female hands we've seen time and time again. And speaking of things we've seen time and time again, magic effects, seen these before too. I recommend popping the hand off and sliding this thinner loop over the arm. That way it will stay on. And last but not least for Mojo, he does have his giant mechanical scorpion tail thing. This is on a ball joint here, and this will swivel in the chair. But it's pretty easy to pop off. It's not loose or anything, but it does come off. And I might leave it off for storage purposes, because I don't know where I'm going to put this stuff. At this point, my room is not the biggest in the world. I have a relatively small sleeping / collecting space, so where this is gonna go, I don't freaking know. But why don't we lay these two down, him for the end. Because I know that's what you came here for. To see the big scary monster guy in the mechanical spider chair, not man and woman. So, I stand him up there. And we'll first take a look at Dazzler. And I think she has his hand. Hold on. Let me double check. No, I think she had the right hand. Very close in size and almost sculpt. You know, she's female figured, he's not. He's a dude, I should say. But Dazzler. She is on the Shriek body mold, although I thought she was going to be on that crappy pinned female body mold with the sucky single jointed arms, which, don't worry, we're going to be looking at a figure on that body mold very, very soon. Boy. But she is on the Shriek body mold. Not the best mold they have, but it's not terrible. So as far as her articulation goes, she will rotate at the noggin. She does have a hinge in the noggin. She can tilt as well. I kind of lean the head forward. That way her head sits lower on the neck. But it does look like her head is disconnected. So that's kind of egregious and stupid looking, but whatever. You can raise her arm up, back down, rotate all the way around. She does have a bicep twist. I don't need to put any soap on this figure either, so I'm assuming this was 2022. This one's a little sticky, but I still don't feel like I need to put soap on this. So it's going to stay this way. She does have double elbow. This one I was able to work out the package. The other one I did have to heat, but once I did, it moved just fine. It was not hard at all. Wrist will swivel and hinge. Diaphragm joint will move this far forward, this far back. She does have tilt side to side and rotation. She does have a peg hole in the back too. I'm guessing this is carry over from the crappy female body mold I'm thinking of, but don't quote me on that. I really don't freaking know. There's like a million body molds at this point. Most of them suck, but there's like a million body molds at this point. I can't keep track anymore, people. Come on. Hips will go out that far. That's not terrible. Kick up, pretty good. Back, pretty good, considering she does have a rumpus going on there. She's got a thigh cut. I almost think this is just a pinless version of that crappy female body mold, because these are plastic sonic welded hips here. They're not the gummy hips, so that's interesting. Don't know why they stopped doing that. Maybe because it's cheaper. She does have a double jointed knee. That works just fine. And she does have hinge at the foot with a rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, yeah, popping that arm back down. Very, very good. I like this figure. It's very basic, but it's... For basic, it's okay. Like, if you're going to give us a basic female figure like this, use these parts. Like, this is fine. Maybe give us a better upper torso and reuse the heck out of that, but that is more than acceptable. Now we have Longshot, who, if I yank his head off, and this bullet belt here, I don't know if I can do that very easily. I thought I could do that a little easier than I can. But if you take off the bullet belt... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. If I take those things off, pop his collar out a little bit. What does that look like to you from the waist up? If your answer was classic Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, you would be correct, sir. When are we going to get that? Because everyone was bitching that Danny Ketch was too short compared to Johnny Blaze. Well, I think this body buck is a little bit closer to Danny Ketch's height. So it would be awful nice, especially since we already got a hand with the correct hinge for holding stuff, to see a Johnny Blaze on this body mold. That would be pretty freaking sweet. I would like that anyways. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think that would be pretty freaking cool. We gotta get this thing back on. That was way easier to put on than it was to take off. put his head back on. Which he only has like the double ball peg. Oh, he's got like a ball joint in the neck. That's pretty sweet. Didn't notice that before. Yeah, I think he's just got a double ball peg in the neck. But you get a lot of range in the ball peg in the base of the neck. So that's interesting. That said, him and Dazzler both look like they came straight out of the hair metal scene from the 1980s, so that's kind of funny. But as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate. It'll look down. It'll look up a little bit. It'll tilt a little bit. Shoulders will go up that far. Back down all the way around. Nice and tight there. He's got a bicep swivel. Again, no need for any soap there. Double elbow. Not too bad. He's got a swivel and a hinge in the wrist with the appropriate hinge for holding weapons. Thank you. This hand over here that he's got like 3 knives, I think, 3 throwing knives, is just an up and down hinge, but I think that's okay probably. But his ab crunch, click that far back, that far forward, waist twist. Got a nice belt with pockets. That's the other thing. This belt's a separate piece. You can take that off. He doesn't need this on here. His little scabbard or sheath. I already screwed it up even though I gave you the facts earlier. What kind of toy reviewer am I? Very average one. Hips will kick forward, back, out, far enough to get him on a motorcycle. Just saying. He does have a thigh cut. His thigh cuts are very tight. This one even more so, but it could be because he has that band around his hip. But the one thing that was tighter than that, we'll get to that in a second, after we took a look at this double knee, that works fine, is his boot cuts. I actually had to heat these up, pop them off, and put a little soap in there, put them back on. Now they're pretty smooth, but earlier, holy shit, these were tighter than fuck. And was I worried about breaking it? Not exactly. But I wasn't going to let him sit for years and then take the chance of moving it and having it snap then when this figure is like not replaceable. So I just said, fuck it, and I did what I did. If you don't like it, kiss my ass. He does have a hinge in the foot though. His crazy cowboy boots with a rocker and also peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So that is Longshot. He is probably, of the two, the better of the human characters, but you didn't come here for this guy, or even Dazzler, or even that little piss-ass grabzags Wolverine. You came for this big, ugly bastard here. This is Mojo. He is a big, fat, green dude in a mechanical spider chair, and this figure is pretty freaking awesome. I'm going to unhook these tubes from his arms, because they're just going to pop out anyways, and we are going to remove him from his chair, because he is just going to pop off it anyways. So that's the plus side about this set. You can take this figure apart pretty easily. Unlike the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure where you probably couldn't do that. But as far as Mojo's articulation is concerned, his head will look side to side. It'll look up, down. It has some tilt. It is on a nice double ball peg there. A very ugly mug on that creepy bastard. Look at that thing. It's the thing of nightmares right there. Although I think I could conceive way worse than that. His shoulders will move all the way around. As well as up about this far. He's got pretty big bicep pegs. So you don't really need to worry about breaking stuff there. However, I did heat up the arms at the bicep. Popped them off. I just chipped some schmutz off his arms and pop them back in, and they work just fine. They are butter smooth. I did not have to waste any soap on this guy. Like, those are fine. Like, they're a little gummy, but not even close to like being worth the time to mess with the soap and whatnot. So that is cool. So you can rotate his bicep all the way around. His elbow is double jointed, so you can bend his arm about that far, and because he's got big long skinny arm, you get plenty of range out of that. Then his hands will rotate and hinge like so. Nothing too egregious. Very cool sculpt on the hands. My favorite hand though is the freaking open one on this side. This one is really cool. Almost looks like you could put a jumbo skull in there and have him doing the Hamlet. No, a Mojo, he might actually be okay with that. He does have a diaphragm joint, but it does pop apart pretty easily. So you're going to want to be mindful of that. Hopefully I can get this back on. Because it doesn't really snap in. It's very... like, not... this thing doesn't, like, click together like you'd think it would. And I might need to heat that up again. Just to get that to stay down, but for now, it does pretty much pivot forward and back. It does tilt side to side. He's got a big rubber belly. You can squish it. It's got squishy all over the place. It does have a frame here, so it does maintain its shape, but it's very squishy. I'm just making sure this thing is in there. I think it is. That's... whew. It's a workout to get this guy together, let me tell you what. Ironically, it's a workout to get a fat, ugly green man together. But let me just pop this arm back out, and we'll take a look-see at his chair now. Like I said, it does have a port on the back for the scorpion tail. I'm going to leave that off until final thoughts because it does take up a lot of room. But he's got these cables. They hook up into his shoulders. I actually had to heat one of these because I almost thought I got two of the same one, but I think I just had them in wrong. So no cry, no foul there. That said, all these spider legs are individually articulated, as are these little robotic arms in the front. They have disc hinges in the base, so you can rotate them, hinge them back and forth. They got disc hinges in the midsection, so you can hinge them back and forth and rotate. And then they have disc hinges at the ends, so you can, again, hinge them up and down and rotate them back and forth. That is your lot for articulation on the spider chair. You can move it all over the place, man. It's pretty cool. Like, this is not a piece of shit. Like, I was expecting this Mojo to be kind of like crap, but I gotta say, with the exception of paint, it makes the Toy Biz one look like, I don't know, some chump change, man. Like, the sculpt and paint on the Toy Biz one notwithstanding, that one was like a little weenus compared to this thing. This thing is big. It's got a lot of articulation for what it is. I think the Toy Biz one had finger joints, but you know, those can only go so far before they break, right? Why don't I plug him back in here? Which can be easier said than done. His little tubers back into his arms. Actually, let's put his arms down. I do think it's funny that the fat guy can put his arms down better than a lot of skinny figures that just have a coat. Like, how ironic is that? So, pop this back here, move his hand out the way. There we go. So yeah, he is really cool, and the selling point of the set, and I paid $25 for him, so I could not be happier. I really like this set, man. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. The packaging's pretty cool, but it is just cardboard, windowless packaging bullshit, so it's probably going to wind up in the trash, then a landfill, and then kill some fishies later on in its life. But, you know, I really dig this set. I think this set is freaking awesome. I think this Mojo figure is kind of underrated. I don't know if anyone stuck him in their top legends of whatever year this came out, but I think he's definitely one of mine for sure. I really like him. I like him a lot. So I guess before we wrap things up with some final thoughts, since you already saw Mojo next to the other two figures in the set, let's bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibolith, right there. And the infamous Okay, 11 spawn right there. Just because you kind of already know how Longshot and Dazzler are going to scale compared to these two. But Mojo's different. He's his own animal. Or his own fat man crazy spider chair. That said, since somebody's going to ask, here's Dazzler. Here's Longshot. And for all two of you give a shit, here's the piss poor excuse for a fourth figure, or as I like to call him, the piece of shit grab Zag's ass Wolverine. Yeah, man, that's it. That's gonna do it. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and for the price I paid, while it may not be Ollie's price, I have to say that, yes, the good old Mojoworld box set here that was initially a Hasbro Pulsecon exclusive, now a quote-unquote fan channel exclusive, was very much worth the price of admission. Granted, it is heavily discounted nowadays. It's roughly the price of 3 standard Marvel Legends figures, so we'll say around $75. And if you throw in the Spiral retro carded release, that was also $25. That said, if you could still get that figure, that is, then you're looking at $100 for a pretty much complete Mojoworld setup. Which, if I'm not mistaken, this set initially was around $130, so you do the math on that one, but good things come to those who wait. What can I say? That said, I do think it is kind of bullshit that Hasbro tried to push this, we'll say, for lack of a better term, once again, grab Zag's ass Wolverine figure as a fourth figure and brand this as a 4-pack, because that's not what it is. It's a 3-pack with a slug. We're not stupid, people. That aside, it's a good set. I love the Mojo figure. Dazzler and Longshot are okay releases to the Marvel Legends line, and I look forward to seeing an updated Johnny Blaze on the Longshot body, because the old one we got is too damn tall. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.